Hi, this is a mini eyebrow tutorial. So what I just showed you is my setting powder. I'm getting ready to set my eyebrows with the Ben Nye powder in the color Camel because my skin is really oily. So you just dab on the powder. A little bit is fine. Now I'm showing you I'm going to be using the L'Oréal Brow Style Definer Pencil in the color Brunette. So my eyebrows are not threaded, so I'm just brushing my hairs up, and the excess hairs I'm brushing down that I'm going to try to cover with concealer. So here I'm just doing light strokes, starting off at the bottom. Very, very light strokes, just so you can get a very defined line. So now I'm going to brush my hairs down and do very light strokes at the top. Notice how I'm not starting off at the very front of my brow, just because I don't want it to be too bold in the front. Now I'm brushing those hairs back up, and that's what I love about this pencil, is because I'm going to do very light strokes with the pencil. So I just go back and forth with those light strokes until you get the desired boldness or color that you want. Just keep going back and forth with the strokes. Now at the tail, I like to darken up my tail, so I kind of start filling it in a little bit more darker towards the tail. And if you think you put too much product, and just to work the product in, you just take your spoolie and just brush it through your brows and just keep going back and forth until you get the desired boldness that you want with your brows. And once again, work that product in. Blending is the key with makeup. Overall, blending is the key, so don't be afraid to blend that product in. So I'm just going to do the same thing on this side. Start off with very light strokes. Brush those hairs down. Do light strokes again. It looks like I'm being very aggressive and adding a lot of pressure, but I'm really not. So just go ahead and do defined strokes over that brow. Work the product in. And that's what I love about this pencil. It's so easy to fix mistakes with because it's not so thick, and it's just very thin. Okay, now I'm going to take the NARS concealer in the color Caramel. Sorry you can't see it, but it's in the color Caramel. What I love about this concealer is just really, really smooth. So I like to apply it on the back of my hand just to kind of warm up the product. Helps it to move around a little bit easier. So I'm taking my crown brush here, and I like to get that brush as thin as possible and dab it into that product on both sides and keep it thin. Now we're just going to start with very light strokes underneath the brow. Try your hardest not to touch the hairs. You don't want to mix the concealer with the product, with the eyebrow pencil. And just do very light strokes. And I'm just brushing my excess hairs down because I want to get that covered with the concealer. And see why I said I love this concealer. It has very, very full coverage. And also putting the product on the back of your hand helps it to be more accessible to you. So now I'm just going to brush those hairs down. I start at the tail when I go to the top. It's just a lot easier for me. And very light strokes once again at the top and the bottom. And that is a little trick I use if I feel like my eyebrows are too long, if my tail is too long, I just kind of measure my brush up to the outer corner of my eye. Now at the top it's going to be a little bit hard for you to see, but like I said, I'm doing very light strokes and I'm just dragging that product down to my brow as close as I can get it without touching those hairs. This is why I use very light strokes, because it's so much easier than just going ahead and just dragging it all down at once. And so now I'm just pulling that product over my lid because I am not going to do any eyeshadow. So now I'm just doing the same exact thing that I did to the other side. I'm starting with very light strokes. And that's why it's so important to keep this brush very flat and thin, because it helps to get that nice shape around your arch and around your eyebrow. Starting off at the tail again. And this is just the way that works really well for me. I know everybody has different techniques, but this technique works the best for me. And also a little bit of the product goes a long way. You don't have to use a lot of concealer, especially when you're doing the light strokes. And so now what I'm going to do is take my Morphe brush and I'm going to just tap in that concealer. You just want to tap it in. You don't want to do any rubbing motions. Just tap that concealer in around your eyebrows without actually touching your brows. And now what I'm going to do is go down the center of my brow, just so that I can tap that concealer in, and also to lighten up the inside of the brow, just in case you think it's too bold. So now we're just going to continue to tap in that concealer. Now what I'm going to do is set my eyelids, because I'm not doing any eyeshadow. So I'm setting that with the same Ben Nye setting powder in the color Camel. And I'm just tapping that in, and a little goes a long way. So just tap, tap, tap. Now what I'm showing you is after my whole entire face is complete, I'm going to apply some L'Oréal brow gel, and it's clear. Thanks guys.